Give us an introduction about who you are, where you come from, what brought you to this conference in near Callaway, Minnesota.
Sagoli Sabagwek, Lola Niosta, Niangets, Waganyanta, Niwagita Lord, Oniatiaga, Niwaguhunjod. So, greetings. My Indian name is Lola Niosta, and it means he makes good sounds or music. And my clan is Turtle, and I'm of the Oneida Nation. And my English name is Daniel Guzman, and I'm also a freshman councilman for the Oneida Nation. And so I've been learning a lot in my first term as councilman. And so I'm here attending the Hemp conference, an agricultural conference that Winona LaDuke has put on to, one, learn and to gain knowledge, but also to create connection and relationships. And this is my second time attending the annual conference, and I attended last year, and I had a great experience, met a lot of good people, and I learned a lot. And that was a key thing for me in regards to returning to this conference. And I just appreciate even just the energy that's here, the excitement, the ambition, and the innovation that's here of everyone from around Indian country that's here, and there's a number of non-natives here that are very been progressive in regards to the hemp industry. So there's, I guess I would say a beginner or novice at understanding the plant, the cannabis plant, but I understand that what it's going to do and how it's going to change the world.
Let's talk in a broader field of not just hemp, but indigenous farm products. There seems to be a revival in traditional foods. At the same time, a huge environmental battle against mining, against CAFOs, against pipelines. Standing Rock is occurring. What's the connection between those two things?
I think the connection is responsibility. I think we all have the responsibility as human beings to take care of our Mother the Earth. But I believe indigenous peoples take that to heart and believe it is their responsibility to take care of and protect Mother Earth. And I think we have an understanding of the need to work with Mother Earth and not against it, and to build that relationship with Mother Earth and to have that respect for it, and not just take from the earth, but to give back and to take care of it. And so there's a lot of things happening in recent times, in the last few years, regarding the environment and regarding Native Americans and agriculture. There is a strong connection. I myself was at the Standing Rock protest for several months during the winter time, and there was, I think, a pivotal moment in time where it really there was an awakening, I believe, that occurred at that Standing Rock protest, and I believe it changed a number of people's lives. I can say that for myself, and even individuals, many individuals, I think, were inspired from that single moment in time. I myself went back to my community and ran for public office with part of my agenda is to protect the environment, and I got a lot of my ideals from my experience at Standing Rock. Another individual who had who was kind of on a more famous level. It was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's also stated that she went to Standing Rock and had an incredible experience there, which inspired her to run for office. And so there's, individuals like ourselves who want to make a difference and take that initiative to protect the land. There's a lot of, I guess, opposing understandings of what the land is there for. Like I said before, I think it is our responsibility to take care of it, and if we take care of the land, it will take care of us. But there's the opposing belief that the land is there just for our taking. And I'll reference a movie that I just seen recently called Wind River, and the setting of that movie was an oil field, and it had to do, if you look at the movie from a higher level, I guess the essence of the movie was about missing and murdered Indigenous women, but it was actually on a much deeper level. It was about the taking of multiple things from Indigenous peoples. It was a taking of land, taking of culture, taking of our women, and then also taking from Mother Earth, the resources from Mother Earth. It was set in an oil field, and there was a key scene at the top of a mountain in that film where the main character asked the murderer, "What did you take?" And that's a key question that we have to ask ourselves and ask each other, and kind of ask the government and other large corporations, what are you taking? What are you taking from Mother Earth, and what are you giving back? And so as Indigenous peoples, I think we have been at the forefront, and we need to continue to be at the forefront and put all of our resources behind protecting the environment and giving back to Mother Earth. And there's a number of ways that we can do that. Through legislation, I believe, is one key way of doing that. Also putting financial resources into creating new ways of doing things. So right now there's a lot of money into the oil industry and large contracts that have, government contracts that have taken place to enhance the oil industry and all the byproducts of that, which obviously harms the earth. But if the government would begin to shift and put their resources and legislation towards protecting the environment, and then creating that infrastructure for renewable energies, sustainable natural resources, I think we can really make a difference and change the world.
What was it at Standing Rock that got you mad or got you moving? What emotions came out of that?
That's a good question. I think it almost came down to the lack of care and the lack of respect of the opposing side. They seemed to lack the care for Mother Earth. They didn't even care to listen to us and what we had to say, or thoughts or beliefs. The police and the security, the DAPL security, didn't care for us as protectors, water protectors, and they kind of disregarded what we were saying and what we were doing. Their whole role was to protect the pipeline and the oil that they were going to retrieve and send through that pipeline. So that was their only main objective, and the dollars behind it. So they have, I guess, a higher respect for and value on the dollar and what that means and represents for them. And so that's what they care for. And so on the water protector side, we care for the land, the water, and the environment as a whole. And so that's where we place our value. And so that came down to a real apparent difference at the front lines, right at the front lines. And there was a lot of emotions that came out right at the front lines on the backwater bridge. There was a number of incidents that took place. I was standing on the cement barriers that were put up, and we had first taken down the barbed wire, the razor wire fence that they had put up. We had taken it down and ripped it down, and then we were standing on top of the cement barriers that they had placed on that bridge. And in front of us was, they had spotlights shining down on us, and there was just a line of armed men. There was a armed Humvee with a sniper sitting there, watching us, ready to shoot, anyone that appeared dangerous. And I guess there was a lot of posturing of authorities, and I think they were trying to infuse fear into us, but they couldn't. But I myself found that I was targeted by a person with he had a tear gas gun, and for some reason he was picking me out of the crowd, and he shot multiple canisters at me. The first one, it landed and it hit the fence and bounced off, and it rolled back towards them, and the tear gas kind of floated back in their direction. And the second canister hit my shield, and it dropped down, and I was about to pick it up. My friend was quick; he grabbed it back and he threw it back at them. And then that third one, it fell down beneath into the cement beneath me, and all that smoke came up, and those toxins, I breathed it in, and it was it took me out like very quickly. I couldn't breathe, and I had to step down off that bridge, and I was coughing, and I couldn't hardly see, and it was kind of, once you breathe it in, it immobilizes you a little bit until you kind of, after a few minutes, and I had some people wash out my eyes and throat and stuff, and it took a little while, but I was able to get back on that bridge. But it was that moment is like, this man is specifically targeting me. He was, and it was, for whatever reasons, he was expressing his emotions, angers, directly at me. Maybe he didn't know why. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he thought we were standing in the way of progress, or standing in the way of his money, or maybe he believed he had rights. Maybe he believed that we were in the wrong and we didn't have any rights. So I don't know, what types of things that were going on in their minds specifically, but from our point of view, it was a matter of disrespect and disregard for Mother Earth.
I have one last question, and it goes to the future. 100 years from now, someone's going to pick up on this video and they're going to look at it, and you're going to give them a message about what we're doing at this time. This battle for the environment and revival of a traditional economy in agricultural. What are you going to tell those people 7 generations from now?
I would say that to regain the respect for Mother Earth, understand and learn and know the value of being a caretaker of the environment, and understand that if you take care of it, it will take care of you. And so there's a lot of things, I guess, that need to happen here and now that my generation needs to take care of and implement and change. And I think at this point in time, it's a very pivotal point of heading in a really positive and a sustainable direction, or possibly going in continuing on the current road of unsustainability. And so depending on which direction it goes, the future generation, we will either leave you with a new economic infrastructure that is environmentally friendly, safe, and sustainable, that works with Mother Earth, or you will be left with a disaster. A Mother Earth that has been raped of all of her resources. And so we have a lot of work to do at this moment in time. But I guess whatever the outcome will be, I would just encourage future generations to do everything in your power to protect and respect Mother Earth.
Really cool.
Yep.